The future of DEI, what's working and what isn't. As scrutiny of DEI intensifies from social, political, and legal perspectives, organizations are becoming more cautious. Leaders may question whether to adapt their DEI strategies in response to these political pressures. However, progressive leaders should view potential changes not as concessions, but rather as an opportunity to take strategic steps toward a more accountable and transparent DEI future. This requires evaluating what aspects are effective and what needs improvement. So, what's not working? Number one, lofty, unclear communication. Two, disconnected goals and programs. Three, measuring process and not progress. So, let's start with lofty communication. The way we communicate the DEI message is simply not working. It is often too lofty and so aspirational that it doesn't feel real. It doesn't have to be complicated. We just need to use everyday language. Much of it sounds like this: we commit to amplifying diversity, nurturing a culture of belonging and inclusion, and investing in equity, authenticity, and collaboration. What did I just say? And what can you realistically expect the organization to do? When we're not clear, it's easy for DEI's detractors to redefine DEI for their audience in extremely plain language. Elon Musk says that DEI is literally the definition of racism and must DIE. He's wrong, but the messaging is widespread and catchy. Again, we must use everyday language that primarily reveals the process and the end goal. So, to explain the work, diversity efforts build workforces that reflect the communities they serve by giving everyone a fair chance to enter and rise through each level of our organization. Equity efforts design organizational systems and processes that prevent discrimination and equip everyone with the resources they need to succeed. Inclusion efforts create environments where everyone is treated respectfully and is valued for their unique contributions and backgrounds. The malicious straw man that DEI is obsessed with: one, lowering standards; two, reverse discrimination, which is an offensive misnomer; or three, thought policing. It couldn't be further from this reality. Additionally, be ready to counter misinformation decisively with facts, explaining simply both your company's commitment to DEI and how your actions demonstrate this commitment, emphasizing the benefits for your workforce, workplace, and the bottom line. We must get this right because without DEI, we suffer diminished creativity, innovation, problem solving, talent, performance, and competitive strength. So, what else is not working? Number two, disconnected goals and programs. In 2020, following the murder of George Floyd, organizations across all industries and sectors made a flurry of commitments and investments in DEI, primarily related to racial justice. But despite the increasing employee interest and executive support for DEI programs, initiatives, and events are showing mixed results. This is where DEI is vulnerable to attack. Concrete DEI goals and targets are still elusive for nearly 60% of companies. Fewer organizations have DEI budgets or even DEI strategies. In real terms, DEI programs that were started out of employee demand wilted over time because they were never translated into organizational demand. Part of the issue is that DEI hasn't been properly embedded within the structure of the company. Without cross functional integration, hastily hired DEI leaders lack the organizational authority to address the root causes of their organization's DEI issues. Without accountability for driving change within their own departments, executives without DEI titles see DEI work as recreational learning and development, completely unrelated to real work and responsibilities. Without any change to organizational wide decision making processes to shift the balance of power, Input and feedback from newly created employee resource groups, DEI councils, and committees goes unheard without any meaningful impact to create change. And finally, number 3, what else is not working? Vanity measurement. Many organizations rate the success of their DEI efforts as largely one-time learning and development opportunities. You know, that amazing International Women's Day speaker? Or siloed cultural celebrations like that celebratory Juneteenth luncheon, or other entertainment focused events, or isolated promises to survey, examine, or otherwise look into organizational concerns on leaders' own timelines. It's time to make good on representation and diversity. When measurement is absent or irrelevant, DEI interventions are denied the opportunity to succeed or fail. They simply exist, at least until stakeholders get tired of sponsoring them and withdraw their support. And we've definitely seen that. So, require representational goals with a real plan to achieve them. Work to embed DEI in organizational processes to reduce bias and provide equitable access to opportunities. And finally, achieving DEI will take time. We have to be somewhat patient because America was built on a caste system that has existed for over 2.5 centuries. Caste is the artificial construction and the fixed, embedded ranking of human value. Having equitable access and opportunity to the valued assets of society is distributed just as this caste system has been designed. The valued assets are health, housing, education, employment, and civic participation. And when we look at household wealth, you can see the caste system in action. Talent is equally distributed, but opportunity is not. This is what DEI aims to correct. The US racial profile is very diverse. If more than half the population is marginalized and denied the valued assets in society, the US is in trouble. We need everyone to participate in an effort to make this country great. Final words: communicate. Speak up. If the opposition is the only share of voice that's heard, people on the fence will believe that they're hearing what they're hearing. Define DEI, share the benefits for everyone. Share our successes, share meaningful stories of DEI in action, and stand firm. Don't punk out. Be clear and kind in your response, but firm. Don't allow the opposition to make DEI a bad word. Compete by offering a similar share of voice. Also be on the lookout for coded language like parental rights. Be sure that DEI is embedded in the corporate structure. Align DEI goals with the business. Don't allow DEI to become extra or isolated from business goals. Measure results. Don't just count processes, but measure actual progress on meaningful goals. Ensure that there is a plan on supporting DEI goals and how they will be achieved. Include all leaders. And finally, believe we can do this. We are far from a reality that can exist without focused attention on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Believe that we can do this and that you've been chosen to fight for it in this generation.